I said I wasn't going to do it, but damn it, I'm going to speak and do it. I talked about this a long time ago when it was about Bill Cosby, about the allegations. And at the end of the day, there's still allegations, even though he was found guilty, because you were found guilty with no evidence. And I know some people are going to sit there and feel like this is a BS. What are you talking about? You don't understand. It was 60 people, 60 women who sat there and came out and said of all the things. But do we really know the full effect of what really happened? Do we know what really went on? Because here's the thing. The reason they say there's no evidence found against Bill Cosby is the simple fact that most of the accusers changed a lot of what they said, meaning that they pretty much, it was a different story every time they spoke. Um, this is kind of like a response to Rich of Review Tech USA. I am subscribed to him. Rich is a good guy. I'm not sitting there trying to knock him because I value his opinion. But my opinion about the whole situation is this. There's a lot of question marks that surround the case of Bill Cosby that make people really should question what it means to say and do anything. First of all, Bill Cosby himself, the guy, his name, notoriety, and so forth, celebrity. Just because he's a celebrity doesn't mean he can do whatever the hell he wants. But here's the crazy thing that people haven't taken into effect. I saw an interview with a lady on CNN when the actual first accusation started coming out, and she stated that Bill Cosby, he did this to me and all that. The interviewer said and said, "Could you give us details?" She said, "I really can't say because I was high at the time." You were high as a kite at the time. You don't know if that was Bill Cosby or the local crackhead. I'm just being honest. That is a situation. Now, with the actual accuser that of course, he was indicted for, it was stated that he did give her quaaludes. She asked for them willingly and wine. And then, let's get it even more crazy to the point, even though this situation did happen, and it's undisputed that it did happen, she took a plea bargain. That means she took money to keep her mouth closed. Now, I think the case itself should have been thrown out from that, because basically it seems like it's more of a situation of he said, she said, because you have to think about this. By Bill Cosby, of course, like I said, once again, the celebrity part, being a celebrity, and at the same time, that's kind of like anybody in today's society. Even what's going on with, I don't know the guy's name. I know Donald Trump has him elected to be this and that in that particular court and whatnot. But that situation happened in high school, and all of a sudden it comes back out. I find it kind of question mark on a lot of things when you sit there and realize that anything that's done in the past, of course, eventually does come to the light. But here's the crazy thing about the Bill Cosby situation is the fact that you wait 40, 30, all these years to try to sit there and say, and I was hurt. I find it questionable. Now, being well, I'm not defending any actors, what Bill Cosby might have done of whatnot, because that's not me. But I am saying something that questions a whole lot about what goes on in this world. You can sit there and easily put this person and victimize them and basically throw them in the gutter when you have to watch at every moment of what is being really going on. Of course, the question mark is 60 people. If I sat there and said, I'm going to just throw a name out there, and it might be blasphemy, I'll just throw a name out there. I say, Tom Cruise raped 18 women. And all of a sudden, 18 plus or 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus women come out of nowhere and say, yes, Tom Cruise raped me too. I said like this. You know, they said the statute of limitations about most of those cases were thrown out because they felt that they couldn't touch it. But like I said, like Janice Dickinson, for instance, this the well, who considers herself the first supermodel, stated that Bill Cosby did things to her. And then you sit there and question her quote unquote past. Drugs, of course, living the wild lifestyle she lives, and at the end of the day, you question that because you sit there and say to yourself, do I have to trust this lady? She was on a show called Surreal Life, and she did a lot of crazy wild. Well, maybe she was just going through the demons of what happened in her pet. I mean, give me a fucking break. There are people who literally are assaulted, are raped, are and things are done to them, and it's not funny. But the funny thing about this is the simple fact that at the end of the day, even though we sit there and say Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, at the end of the day is a man, understandably. But the question has to be thrown in idea of what you see. Many people don't realize that Bill Cosby, prior to all the allegations coming out, was at the point where he was able to position himself to take a buyout of NBC. Yeah, yeah, the Cosby Show, all that good shit. And he also was able to probably position himself to get a gain, a garnishment of something as it relates to even bringing his show back. Remember, Bill Cosby did a Comedy Central special prior until what happened with the allegations, and it got rave reviews and so forth. And see, the thing about it is people are not even questioning any of the things they see. It's all about using your own fucking brain to analyze little shit. And when you sit there and think about it, maybe I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but just maybe, Alex John here, just maybe Bill Cosby was shot up. Probably he might was shot up to take the fall, to be put in a situation where all these accusations, or whatever, I'm not saying it right, came out of nowhere to basically tarnish and destroy someone's reputation. And before people sit there and think, well, maybe you're just talking out your ass. Here's the thing I always go by. Back in 1993 or 92, I forget, there were allegations brought up on the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. And I didn't buy any of this shit back then. And I think I was, what, 9, maybe 10. I didn't buy any of that shit back then. And then as time went on, you started to weevil out what was really going on. These parents, so-called parents, wanted to get money or embezzle money out of him. And then at the same time, we can always say, because like I said, I'm not friends with Bill Cosby. I am not his family member. I don't know him from the Man in the Moon. But I sit there and say that it seems kind of question mark about a whole lot of bullshit that you literally hear in the media. You have the case with Bill Cosby where he's going to be serving 10 years or really a decade in prison for what they consider him assault and this and that. They never really said rape. I don't even think it really is even really said rape. But here's the crazy thing. Like I say, you have this person serving this, and you still know that it's no evidence of anything. It's just like I said. You could easily have a person. Case in point, what's going on with Morgan Freeman, a Hollywood producer, executive, or whatever, stated that Morgan Freeman did. We don't know shit about shit. And here's the thing: people don't forget. Don't forget this, people. People can be very, 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 very evil. even people who can lie and say shit and defamate and also basically destroy your character. Now, let's say the lady who, of course, accused and was the one that they eventually did this whatever with the case with Bill Cosby. Let's say she sat there and said, "Wow, I'm with Bill Cosby. This is wow. I would love to be with Bill Cosby." We can sit there and say this and say that. Maybe she put herself on him. Give me a fucking break. No evidence, but you're guilty. And then at the end of the day, they try to destroy half the fucking folks from the Cosby Show, who Felicia Rashad, Malcolm Jamal Warner, a lot of those, they were pretty much they held them by the heads. They said, "You better say he's fucking evil, or we're gonna slit your fucking throat." And you know the thing that scares me about that is if that can happen to Bill Cosby, that can happen to any other fucking celebrity. That can happen to Michael Jordan. That can happen to Denzel Washington. I'm saying black celebrities, I mean. It can happen to any of them. And then at the end of the day, yeah, people will say that, like Rich was trying to say about the race issue. I'll say this. There are a lot of accusations that's been going on about a lot of other celebrities as well. Kevin Spacey, Matt Lauer, you name it. There are a lot of people been thrown in this pool, if you will. And the thing that I kind of question mark about that is I'm not trying to sit there and throw race. I don't want to do that. But it's scary as hell because you know it's that. And then at the same time, you look at all the things that have been going on in our elitist world as we can see it. And there's a lot of scary shit that's really, really, really fucked up about this. And I'm not trying to sit there and make the big ass fucking question. It is the question that needs to be answered though, because there's some scary shit that really frightens me about anything. Let's say you're at your job and you bump into a lady at the workplace, and she feels that you violated her inner circle and all that shit. So now you're looking like that just bumped you. I didn't really do anything. I wasn't trying to. And the thing about it is, we'll sit there and listen to a whole lot of bullshit before we hear real words, real reason, real idea of what we are actually listening to. The Bill Cosby situation is scary as fuck. Being well, this has already happened and he's going to serve his time. But I find it scary the fact that literally some things can be taken to that next level. 60 women. And you remember some of those cases at the end of the day were thrown the fuck out because literally the accusers kept changing their fucking story. Meaning that maybe, just maybe, half these motherfucking women he never even met. Being honest, be real, haven't even met these people. They might be people that probably just want to fuck up a person's quote unquote his character. Just saying. And it scares the fuck out of me. Because once again, like I said, it could be any other actor, any other comedian, any other celebrity in general, where they can literally be thrown under the bus, put in a situation where they're literally balls to the wall. They're fucked. They're screwed. There's no way they're gonna get back from that. And like I sit there and say, I sit there and see people have their opinions. Even on Rich's channel, when I looked at some of the comments, there was a lot of people saying, "Yeah, Cosby's an asshole. He used to go to hell. He's what he did." And there's a lot of other comments saying, "Dude, the man, then there was no evidence." And at the end of the day, where was the credibility of half of the people that was saying what they were saying about this person? It makes you think that if I walk down the street tomorrow and I look at a female, just look at them, they could easily call the police and sit there and say, "This man look at me," and I'm fucked. It's something to really make people think that literally all the shit that happened with the Bill Cosby case is scary. It's fucking scary. And I sit there and say this is the fact that, like, at the end of the day, when I sit there and think of celebrityism, yeah, celebrity, you're famous. And there's a lot of people that will throw themselves at famous people. And people keep on forgetting that fucking part. How do we know that half these women were probably groupies who were like, "Oh, Bill Cosby, play with my titties. Bill Cosby, play with my pussy." Come on now. We have to think about stuff like that. But yet and still, we'll sit there and say, "Oh, this evil bastard who sit there and told our kids to eat pudding pops is literally a fucking perverted pariah." Give me a fucking break. Let's really analyze anything in that case in general. You had a bunch of people who put their complaint about this person was this and this and that. You had people from 30, 40 years ago saying, but they could have been said something about it. The man has been in the public eye for all those years and you couldn't say anything about it. The man did fucking Fat Albert. The man did different shows in between. He did the Cosby Show. All those years. Years. And then look at the co-stars he was with. Felicia Rashad. Beautiful lady. Very, 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 very lovely. I sound perverted when I said that. She's very, very lovely, right? Okay. He was on the show with her. Why was no instances of that happening on the show? And then at the same time, you have all this stuff coming out of the woodshed. I feel at the end of the day, it's a slap in the face of the ideal of being a human being. Because we're going to sit there and throw this dude in prison. And I said, dude, that's an 80-year-old guy in prison. We're making an example of a person who wasn't found guilty of evidence, but was found guilty of no evidence. And we sit there and think this is a great thing. Man, America's justice system is amazing. You can have a motherfucker that sold weed be in prison for 30 years, but a motherfucker that killed a child be in prison for 4. Give me a fucking break. And I'm done. I mean, like I said, I can't fucking fathom how fucked up it is to know you have a situation that monarchy or whatever. I might not even say the word right, but at that situation of just generally knowledge, ability to think, to say to yourself, this person is going to jail for what someone said. When I was in school, back in the 90s and so forth. And in Mississippi, we had a thing happen, which was one of like the first school shootings that happened in Pearl. And I was not a very, very, very outspoken child in school. I really, really wasn't this and that. And apparently, children would sit there and question, well, he's going to end up shooting up the school, or he's going to blow up the school, or he's going to do this. And it was all about what people said about a person, not knowing the person, not understanding the person, but just assuming if that person didn't talk to people or wasn't really social, I wasn't really popular, he was a crazy son bitch. And I sit there and say the old saying, never judge a book by its cover. And I feel that at the end of the day, when it comes to the Bill Cosby situation, don't judge it by its cover, because at the end of the day, some things are question marks in that case. And then at the end of the day, I wish that if he had an actually good legal team, they would have literally fought that. And I mean literally fought the fuck out of that. Because as much as people want to, they've literally took this man's name off of the Walk of Fame. They've literally did all this stuff to destroy his character, basically. And you know it's an elite shit. You know it's motherfuckers that's over the higher powers to be. They were going to fuck him up anyway. And here's the thing that, like I say, you have Donald Trump, who's already talked about playing with the pussy, who's talked about doing this and doing that, extramarital affairs. He's still in the fucking White House as president of the United States. And then you still have all that and then some. and all the other things that have been going on in this whole point fingers and shit, and it scares the fuck out of me because that means you could be have probably made a mistake and bumped your hand on somebody's ass in high school, and 30 years later, you might be trying to become this and do that, and that person will come out of nowhere. He bumped my ass in high school, and you're fucked. I don't understand. Actually, Rich, you're entitled to your opinion, and I respect that. But man, really, really grasp about how we as people considerably can jump to conclusions about anything. Literally, you and me can probably be put in a situation where we're judged and we're thrown in the gutter because of what someone says. And here's the crazy thing: like I say, at the end of the day, those allegations were years ago. Those should have been brought out. Someone should have said something. Someone should have spoke up. If this person did something to you out the way, you should have said something. And someone would say, well, maybe they were so emotionally distraught. They went emotionally distraught when they realized that Bill Cosby was going to get ready to have another TV show come on television. And he was going to get into a shitload of money. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, think about that. Well, I'm going to end this video. Like I said, it's something that's controversial. Yes, it's a subject, but like I said, he's serving at 3 to 10. I mean, hell, of course, Bill Cosby is in his old. He's 80 some years old. Of course, he's in his twilight years. But like I sat there and said, there's a lot of question marks about what I see as it relates to what happened with the whole Cosby case, because I feel at the end of the day it's so crazy. And it's not me just defending Bill Cosby in general. It's the fact that this could have happened to any celebrity. It's the fact of how question mark it all is when it comes to no evidence, when it comes to all the accusations, when it comes to most of them being frivolous accusations, when it also comes to the celebrityism part. When you sit there and think about it, at the end of the day, somebody could easily have thrown anybody under the bus. But yeah, this is my response. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Like I say, Rich Review Tech USA is a great channel, guys. Check it out. He's a cool guy. I'm not dissing his channel or disrespecting him in any kind of way. I'm just saying that I have a differing opinion of the Cosby situation, and I think it's just crazy that it had to go to that. But you guys have a good one. This is Jugga82 signing off.